Function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Hey everybody, happy Saturday night. I'm over here, was just watching Cub game. Cubs beat the White Sox. It was good. I mean, they're almost 500. I don't know what that means. Oh. So yeah, what's up with Apple, man? I ended up buying a Apple iPad because I have a teleprompter and I wanted to connect it and stream on, stream the words so I can, that way I'm not just rambling through a video. And the damn thing, it froze on me. I guess I put the wrong ID in there. iPad unavailable. Try again in 1 hour and 14 minutes. First time I messed up the ID, 15 minutes. Second time, half hour. Third time, 1 hour. I'm over there trying to reset the thing, going to Apple, and then trying to reset new codes and all that. But man, that's ridiculous. How are you gonna lock somebody out of their own? I mean, I was just turning on the thing to get it going, so I could just set up my studio with the teleprompter. I was really looking forward to having the teleprompter. That way, I'm not just rambling through nonsensically without a script. I think having a script when you're making a YouTube video is kind of important. Well, also, I was trying to put a couple educational videos together, and I need the information to be concise. I need it to be written out. That way I could read it and I could communicate whatever I got to say to people. So, man, Apple to me, I don't know. I've always been an Android user. So then I got on YouTube to see how I can figure out getting my iPad turned back on or get it access to it, and it's a pain in the ass. And luckily I have an Apple computer. That's what I'm actually live streaming off of right now is my Apple computer. I never use it. And the thing is that I had done a video before talking about all the technology that we have laying around in the house, all the equipment that we have that we never utilize, that we just buy it, use it once or twice, never really expand on it. Like I'll give you for instance, I bought this gimbal for my cell phone. I just don't use it. And it now that I'm looking at it, it's pretty nice. Shit. I'm gonna have to try this thing out. I have to read on it and get it going. I just kind of like, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. Well, I was gonna buy the one that tracks you better. So I don't know. Things like that. I bought that. It was kind of complicated, so I just like, oh man. And I bought this recorder here. And then I want to do my podcast. But you have to learn how to use these machines. And that's a lot of money that you spend or I spent. I'm not going to let the stuff go to waste. I'm eventually going to use it, when I get around to it. But getting around to it have to struggle. I literally have this brand new computer here that I haven't, I just never really used it. I had it set up, wouldn't get on it. Then I just mothballed it, put it in the basement. And then like I said, in order to activate that iPad, I have to go to Apple and get into iTunes. It's a whole process. So literally what should have been like turn on, log in, boom, you got your iPad working. Then they want all this information. If you get it wrong, boom, you locked out. That sucks. So I'm writing down my damn my ID. I'm sticking it there. I'm not a big fan of passwords. I mean, I know they're necessary, but when you put in a good password, then they say, "Oh, that's not good enough. Come back, make up another one." I was like, "Dude, I'm making up passwords that are easy for me to remember." And I hate to say it, your password management has to be, you have to write the stuff down. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I sometimes think like, well, I'm gonna catch it. I'll keep it up here and I'll be able to use it. But now that I'm 56, it feels like I have no memory retention. I forget 5 minutes into the future. Even reading a number to log it in so you get access to your account. I'll read it real fast and then I'll forget it right when I'm typing it, and then I gotta go look it up. I like the fact that you could copy and then you could paste it, but sometimes that application doesn't always work 100%. You got to know how, the ins and outs of that, but it ain't that complicated. It's just a pain in the ass. So, now that I'm, I got my, now that I'm over 50 subscribers, I'm actually going over 50 I'm over 50 subscribers on this account, which is my Eddie V Unplugged account, and I'm fast approaching 50 subscribers on my podcast version of this. And I'm working two channels, and I got and to be honest with you, if I was just to concentrate on one channel, I probably would have got over 100 views already. But the thing is that I wanted to grow these two channels side by side and have a different version of what I do on one in one space, and then have a different version, more of like a vlogging everyday type of thing on in this other space. And the thing is that it has been working, but if I notice that I'm dipping or in effort or numbers, I start. I actually gotten a spark the last week and a half. Started producing more videos. I don't know if it has anything to do with my personal life, because there's some people that had to leave my life because couldn't we just didn't see eye to eye anymore. Even though I missed that person, I just know it was time for me to move on. And instead of getting into destructive behaviors, maybe like drinking and just hanging out. I mean, I'm too old for that. I'm not too old for that, but I'm way past that on the maturity level. I know that being destructive with your oneself is not the way to go when you're in a situation of a season of change. If you're in a season of change, then you got to change for the better. Got to change to improve yourself. And I'm really happy that I have my YouTube channel to concentrate my efforts on, because it's become a passion for me to be on YouTube. I love doing YouTube. I love challenging myself to come up with ideas to make a good video. I like the fact that I got to learn how to produce a good video, because it's not going to get produced. I don't want to make I don't want to make a stinking turd and put that out as a product. I want to be informative. I want to be, I want to give people quality. And I actually want you to stay on my channel and become part of become part of Eddie V Unplugged. I mean, I'm just like you. My focus is actually to help people start and grow their own YouTube channels. I think that there's a big space for people over 40 that all they've ever done is consume YouTube, but they never took it serious enough. They only dabbled. There's a lot of dabblers in YouTube. People who, I mean, I was a dabbler in my late mid 40s. I was a big time dabbler, man. I'd have the cameras. I'd have the ambition. I'd want to do it, but I just never did it. And then you start seeing people who had channels up for 1 or 2 years, and they start having success. And I started saying, you know why those people have success is because they stuck to it. They stayed focused, and they stayed committed to their brand, to who they are. And that started shifting for me a lot right before the world epidemic. I was still I've always wanted to develop my internet presence, because I always feel that the internet is here, man. It's changing, it's evolving right in front of our faces. Even with the emergence of AI, that's part of the internet changing. It's gonna couple with AI. It's gonna do a lot of different things that hopefully they're not for the worst, but hopefully there's stuff that help us. I've developed a blog. I have a internet website, and that's another thing that all these things take time. I just like it's a commitment to learn. You're always learning how to do stuff, and if you're not learning, you're not going to get ahead. And if you're not learning, you're not going to be earning. And the thing is that one thing is it would be great to do something you love and then be profitable from it. That to me is the dream job. So for me right now, doing videos, I like it. I enjoy it. I like everything about it. But you know what? If it becomes self-sustaining, then that would be like so much better and so much cooler. But the thing is that if it never does transpire that way, I'm gonna be okay because this is what I like to do, and that's why it's not work for me. I'm a gadget guy. As a kid, I always had VCRs, my sound systems. I always had stereos. I always wanted to have a DVD player, a Blu-ray disc player, a 100 disc movie DVD holder and 100 disc CD player. And then when that started changing, I still got it. I moved in now into streaming. I started, it's just so many different things. Bluetooth stereos became a big thing again, because now it's just like you can take your music anywhere. Got it in your pocket. You got it on the phone, and that's the thing I think that people need to get back to, and that's having real good sound systems. They have the delivery ability to have music and transfer it electronically, but they're getting chintzy speakers. I like music loud. I don't know if it's because I come from that era where loud to me, the louder the better. My music, I want to feel the vibration of my music, going through me, and having the music lift me up, and that's just the way I listen to music. I'm pretty sure. Oh, let me take a moment. I've been noticing that 90% of the people who watch my videos, I would love for you guys to give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm saying. If anything, and you like what I'm saying, please don't be shy and please subscribe. I'm trying to bring you guys the best content possible, and I will guarantee you I will. I got a lot of things on the slate coming down, and they're coming down for you. So if you start with me now, you're gonna see my progression. You're gonna see it grow. You're gonna see a lot of changes, and I'm inviting you to be a part of that. I'm gonna do a lot of things with this channel, and the thing is that it's like putting on a new pair of shoes. You gotta fit in them, and you gotta know, hey, now they're comfortable. Now I can run in them. I can walk in them. They don't hurt me no more. That, and that would basically be your growing pains. And the reality of it is that I can't do this station, or I can't do YouTube without an audience. I can do a YouTube channel without an audience, but it'd be a lot better if I had an audience and I wasn't just talking to myself. And that's the thing. When you're starting out on YouTube, there's going to be a time where you're in the desert, where you don't know, you're looking for the water, and the water would be the people. The water would be the subscribers. The water would just be where you want to be. And I'm in the desert, but I'm starting to pick up a little steam, and I'm starting to have a direction. I'm starting to forge a path, and it feels good. I'm actually on a little high with that because I feel like I'm putting the work in. If anybody ever saw What About Bob, he goes, "I'm doing the work, baby steps, baby steps." Classic movie with Bill Murray. You gotta watch that. If you have not watched that, What About Bob, you're missing out on an awesome movie. Funny, funny movie. And as far as things go, I wanted to go live to basically complain about my Apple and say, like, what the hell, man? This is brand new. Look at it. It got me locked out. Let me see. iPad unavailable. Try again in 1 hour and 14 minutes. Is this security? Is this stupid or what? Oh, man, that irritates me so much. I mean, it's almost like I would grab this and like, oh, but I can't. Because I'd be stupid if I did that. I spent good money on that thing, and it's going to help me in my videos when I figure it out. That's all part of the growing process. That's you're learning your shit. You got to learn. Everybody thinks like, hey, I'm going to start doing this. You got to learn how to do that first. You got to learn some people don't even know how to turn on a computer, much less press record. Some people are barely learning how to upload computers. I remember when Bluetooth speakers, Bluetooth in itself was like a big mystery. Like, whoa, what's this guy doing? He's streaming music from his phone to this stereo. And those guys, when they showed it, when I seen that for the first time about 15, 20 years ago, I was like a little flabbergasted. I was like, wow, man, that's kind of cool. But the thing about I I like streamed music off the internet versus Bluetooth music. It could sound a little hollow depending on what devices you use and how it streams at what speeds and so forth. So like even now, like I pick, my ears evolved to the fact that hey, I like my music to sound a certain way, and certain delivery devices, maybe like Bluetooth, sometimes can't get, but it's got a lot better. That fall off ain't like it used to be. Now it's pretty damn up there. The music you can vibe to the music. It's good enough where you're not gonna have that much of a drop off. And some of the other topics I want to cover are view time, and engagement time. Like again, if you like the content, please give me a thumbs up, or even better, subscribe. That way it'll help what do they say? That'll help the algorithm help you find me with this kind of content. And I think you got to say that kind of stuff, and you got to say it because sometimes you're out here just talking and talking, and you have to understand this is a two-way street. I've made some videos, and and they've gotten better. I've gotten some more responses, and in me, I know I can make better videos. And the thing is that I was about ready to buy another computer and another screen. I had to pull the jets back on me. I says, "Bro, you already got enough computers. I got a computer on the table behind me. I was using this big screen right here as a computer screen. The reason I wanted to update the computer is because I wanted to, you know, I need to get something with a lot of memory and something that's faster that doesn't lag because when I'm making video, I use I use Filmora, and I don't know if that Filmora program is just kicking my computer's ass now, and I just need to upgrade to something newer. And that's another thing too. People use computers all the time, but how many of us don't use them correctly? You back up a file, you don't back up a file, you know you know I literally, I have to learn more computer etiquette because sometimes, like I'll videotape some. I'll put a video together on Filmora, and I'll go to back it up. No, I'll go to launch it. I'll make it go live. And then when it's done, then Filmora asks me, "Do you want to save this video?" Then I say, "Yeah." Then I sometimes would save it. Then it's eating a lot of memory. And the thing is, like now I'm saying on some videos, they're on YouTube. They're gonna be on YouTube forever. And the only reason to save it is if you're working on it, or if you're gonna edit it later, or you're gonna take snippets out of it. I mean, you never know. But if I had a lot of memory, I could do that. But you got to be a little stingy when you don't have a lot to spare as far as space on your computer. But those are just the things that everyday creators gotta look at and weigh. I mean, those are the little. That's like the minutia. It's in it, you don't want to talk about it, but it's right there. It's something that you as a creator, or you as a person who owns a computer, that you got to do this. You got to, like, oh man, I can't be downloading all these videos. It's eating up a lot of memory. I got to delete some of this stuff, and then these companies, they want to charge you. Like I got like Backblaze. I back up my computer every night, or it does it automatically. Google tells me, "Yeah, you got too much. I mean, your Google Drive's all you got a lot of they got a lot of stuff on there." And I'm thinking, like, I don't even remember downloading half that shit, man. What it is the computer. Sometimes there's a setting on that Google Drive that it just backs stuff up automatically. And I was like, wait a second here, man. I'm not really authorizing that, and it's you guys are killing my my plan. Then you guys want me to buy more? I was like, more gigabytes, more, it's like, no, man, so those are the things that, as a it's kind of being really green with computers. You got to figure stuff out, and you got to ask questions, and you got to get on YouTube. And that's actually what I'm doing to figure out this iPad. I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna figure it out. And figuring shit out sometimes is a pain in the ass. That should have took me 5 minutes to turn on that iPad, get in there and set a script up, download download the app for the teleprompter, put a script together and start reading it, and then have level eye focus and be able to communicate a better message. That's all part of getting better. In my opinion, if you want to be better in YouTube, there's a time that you can speak off the cuff, or you can be real, just direct, like real. I mean, not that reading off a teleprompter makes you less real, but that's planned out. You have that written out, and the words are coming up, and you're making. It looks kind of weird when you got. This isn't good communicating when you're looking down and you have people looking at you. I want to be able to see people face to face and still be able to communicate the words that I want to say. I don't want to. I don't want to sound like a rambling idiot. I mean, trust me, I'm good at sounding like a rambling idiot. There's times that I'll just get off topic and just go off into tangents. But the thing is that along the way, I'd like to keep you entertained, and that's part of what YouTube is, right? It's a educational and an entertainment platform, and that's how I would describe YouTube. And if you're getting on here, you're either looking for information to learn something, or you're looking to be, entertained. And the thing is, I'm gonna try to provide both. I'm really trying to chart a direction, and like I said, a lot of this stuff that I'm doing it because it's something that I always wanted to do, and you don't even understand how happy I am that I'm finally initiating. I'm actually taking action. That's the best part of things in life, is you could dream about a lot of things, but if you never take action, you'll never achieve your goals. And sometimes the struggle, the push to the top or the push forward, is when you're living your best life. You're actually putting the work in. You're doing what it takes to get to the next level. Just to get to 56, like I did yesterday. I didn't. I had just had to breathe every day of my life since 1968 to get to the age of 56. But along the way, trust me, there was many streets I had to cross, many dangerous neighborhoods I had to work in. So part of it is you got to navigate yourself through any kind of circumstance, and you never know what's going to come out at you. And the reality of it is that this struggle that we're in, I'm choosing this. I want to do this. Nobody told me, hey, bro, get on YouTube, start making YouTube videos, and build a channel. No, I undertook that challenge on my own. I want this. I want to do this. And the thing is that everybody has a circle of people around them. They know you got a girlfriend, you got a boyfriend, you got a sister, you got a brother, you got a mother and a father, you got friends at work, friends in a neighborhood. And you have casual conversation with them and bring up the topic about YouTube, and you tell them, hey man, yeah, I'm working on YouTube. And it's still people will be like, YouTube? And they don't really realize that the creator economy is gonna blow up, and that all you got to do is be a willing participant. You could partake in this growth just by picking up your baseball glove and getting in the game. And the thing is that everybody has something to say, and the way you build an audience is what you say resonates with all the people that become subscribers. It resonates with people that are looking for information, are looking for answers, and if you could provide that answer, then you're going to have subscribers. If you could give them entertainment, you're going to have subscribers. If you could build a bridge of trust, and like knowing that whatever I'm going to tell you is going to be said in good faith. It's gonna be fact. I'm gonna have facts behind it, and I'm gonna provide that. I'm always gonna bring that to the table. I'm always gonna bring that to the forefront. And the thing is that there's a lot of voices on YouTube, and you got to know which ones are full of shit, and you got to know which ones are that are real people. And there's a lot of real people coming onto YouTube. And the thing is that in our everyday lives, sometimes it's so hard to connect with people, even people that we go to work with. We have, sometimes right here, there's no barriers. You never met me, but if you hear me speak and you think about what I'm saying, then you say, you know what, this guy's got an approachable point of view. I can mesh with what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. He's talking to me. He's talking directly to me. And I'm not talking at you. I'm talking with you. And the thing is that that conversation, it's a powerful thing. You can manifest your destiny with words. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to manifest my destiny. My destiny is YouTube. I want to build my YouTube channel. I want, to be honest with you, my ultimate goal. I'm gonna share my personal inside dream goal. Everybody has one, but like the coolest thing for me would be, yes, to build a subscriber base, be able to provide relevant information, be able to provide entertainment, take you to places that you can't go to. Maybe you can't go to downtown Chicago, but I can. I live right outside of it. Maybe I could take you to a baseball game at Wrigley Field or Comiskey Park. Or I can go to a Bears game. You can see how that is. Those are all the different things that I can do. And if that's something that you would be interested in, then you could come to this channel and you eventually see it. And the thing is that back to my what I would love for me in my YouTube journey is to actually get a play button. It just be like it would just feel it would I would think it'd feel cool to say, like, look, man, you achieved something. It's like here's a trophy. It's like winning a trophy. I mean, it's basically a participation trophy, but it's a trophy nonetheless. I mean, you still had to put work in for that participation trophy. And by that time, if you do get a play button at 100 and you had 100,000 subscribers, you know, you're gonna probably be monetized, and you probably get some pocket change, so you can do more videos. And I heard that for a while there were people that were quitting YouTube. They were just like, "Oh man, I'm burned out. I'm stopped. I'm done. I'm not doing this no more." And they had a big old bag of money. And the thing is that, boo hoo, you start, yeah, you put the work in, and yeah, sometimes it is time to retire. That's why I respect there's a couple creators that they're retiring from YouTube because they made their money and it's time to move on. I mean, is YouTube forever? Look at I'm 56 years old. I mean, I'm sure there's 75. I don't know if there's 70. I mean, I'm sure there's older people on YouTube. But I'm thinking like, man, am I gonna be doing this when I'm in my 60s? Am I gonna do a video like, hey, I'm turning 60 tomorrow, and I have the finger the I have the foot the what's that called, the thumbnail of me now and then me when I'm 60, and that's all content. That's all content that's gonna be coming. And the thing is this, you got to do what you love. And I think that people who understand that YouTube is also a marketing platform. You're selling yourself. And along the way, you selling yourself, you can, sell products. I mean, I don't want to make my channel a commercial, but the thing is, sometimes you got to put bread on the table, you know. But I've seen some creators, they just got too many. Some of them podcasts, I mean, like, you got to hear a whole stretch of commercials before you hear the goods. And I get it. I totally get it. And the thing is that right now I'm an optimistic YouTuber. I want to do things the right way. I want to be a good YouTuber. I want to have a good conversation on my podcast. I want to have good content. See, all those things are important to me. And the thing is that I don't, sometimes when you're in the YouTube game, from what I've seen from some of these long-term creators, they get stagnant, and then this YouTube starts becoming a ball and chain to them. And that's not where you want to be. I mean, if you start doing it strictly for the money, then maybe your quality isn't gonna the things that got you to where you're at may not be able to carry you into the person that you've changed into. You're always like you ever seen the Rocky movies? He was when he was hungry and he was going for it. The momentum was there. But then, like in Rocky 2 or Rocky 3, no, it was Rocky 3 when Clubber Lang showed up. He kind of like was, he was Hollywooding around. He was training with the cameras. He was doing commercials. He stopped doing the things he needed to do to keep winning. And Clubber Lang beat his ass. That was a great movie. I actually saw that movie for the first time. I want to say 1983. It was during I went to a Catholic high school, and Coach Camholtz, Pete Camholtz, that's his name. He was a stocky guy with a mustache. And back in Catholic school, back when it was okay, corporal punishment was an okay thing. If you messed up in his class, he had like a paddle. He said, "Come over here. What'd you do? What'd you say?" Boom, whack. He'd give you a whack in the ass. And there's nothing you could do about it, because that was the understanding. Like when you took the Catholic schools back in the day, they would beat your ass. And I'm talking about, I got to the Catholic schools when the ass whippings were not as bad as they were maybe say in the 50s and 60s. I mean, they'd come out. I heard stories where they'd come out with rulers. The nuns would have rulers and snap right on your hand, or make you kneel on. I don't know. I didn't have to do that, but I tell you right now, I did get whacked with a paddle back in high school, and man, that hurts. And I only got whacked maybe maybe two times, and that was just enough hint of fear and knowledge to say I'm not going to get whipped. I'm not going to let nobody hit me. But what happened is they got that out of the school because I think there was a teacher called Mr. Coletti. He had a paddle, and he paddled the kid, and I guess the kid ended up. Parents found out about it. The kid had some kind of blood clot or something happened on his ass, and those people were going to sue. It got serious. Back in the day, kids, bullying was a way of life, man. You'd go to. I used to get chased from school home by a gang of bullies. I used to have to fight my way home, man. And as a young kid, you're either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. Sometimes I got my ass beat, but there was a couple times where I had to throw hands. One time I want to say we went. It was a roller dome party, and this dude. I don't want to give any names. I mean, he was an interesting character. Well, he ended up wanting to wrestle with me at this with roller skates on it, and he wanted to fight. So I literally was on the ground with this dude for a half hour, grappled, trying not to get my ass beat, and it was just like, man, that was insane. The 70s and 80s were insane. It was like barbaric. You were fighting for your life, man. So yeah, that guy years later, he became a big drug kingpin in the neighborhood, and he ended up getting chased by the police, and he had, I guess, a bag of drugs, and he ate it so he wouldn't get caught. But he had a really bad reaction, and he literally, I met him years later. I seen him again years later, and then the guy was like a half a vegetable. He just wasn't all there, and he didn't even remember who I was. I'm thinking, man, you inflicted pain upon me, and now you don't even know who I was. You were a sociopath. But you know what? When you're a kid, I was trained like, hey, that's just part of the terrain, man. That's part of growing up. That's part of the stuff you got to endure. And like I said, all those years of survival, I was able to survive that. I don't know what lurks within my mind, or I don't know if I sustained any kind of like emotional or traumatic reaction to it, but I think when you need to get through life, you gotta put on your big boy pants and your big boy shoes and just walk on through. I don't know how many people have experienced that coming up, where it was just like open season. And I was a fat kid. Could you imagine being teased as a fat kid? That was always on the menu, man. You were always gonna get messed with because you were fat. I ended up losing weight. I didn't lose weight because of the teasing. I lost weight because I grew into my body. I changed. I also got sick, and that helped me lose a lot of that weight. But the thing is that kids are cruel. They're probably the most. I don't know if they're still as evil as they were when I was a kid, but There was a lot of mean kids, man. A lot of mean kids, and I'm sure there's still a lot of mean kids now. And I sometimes think that parents, you sometimes gotta let your kid figure stuff out, and sometimes you could do more harm than good by stepping in because you got to build little person up. You got to build his sensibilities up. You got to build him into a person, and the only way you're going to build him into a person is by letting him experience different things, but also having the tools to deal with it. And that's the hardest part. As a child, you don't have those skills. You don't know how to cope with things. You don't know how to understand things. And yeah, you get treated bad, and then you cry, and then you don't understand what's going on. And then one day you just start, you just roll with it. You become a little more rigid and a little immune to it, and it doesn't bother you as much. And all that stuff, it changes you as a human. It changes you as a person, makes you a different type of adult. It forms you into who you're gonna be. I mean, you even as adults, you'll meet people that you like. You think like, this guy had some kind of issue growing up, you know. And one tenant that I do have is that I'm only gonna allow somebody to talk to me the right way. You know, I'm not gonna let people disrespect me. If you're gonna disrespect me, I'm gonna make it a point to to explain it to you. And by not explaining it to you, you'll know. There's stuff that I'm not gonna tolerate. And my thing is I'm gonna give everybody a fair shake. I'm gonna treat everybody with respect. And sometimes people have bad days. You might catch a person on a bad day, but those first impressions, they could last for a long time. So it's always best to put your best foot forward. Because say you met somebody and go, that guy's a jag. And then you think like that about that person for years. And one day you end up having to work with the person or you interact with that person. Then you say, man, you're all right. And that's because, like I said, that person was probably having a bad day. Now look, I was talking about how I started one point. The topic of this video was this iPad. And I'm like, I just but what it is, it's a whole conversation. I think one goes into the next. So if you like, this is basically a free form podcast. If anything, there's a bunch of different things that I'm talking about. Yeah, I got off topic, but there's still topics that were interesting enough for me to want to cover or to share with you. Maybe there's things people have experienced, and maybe there's things that people can relate to, and maybe this conversation can spark a memory in people. And it's like, you know what, that did happen to me as a child, and I overcame that. And then when you think about that, and you're dealing with your own grandkids or you're dealing with your own kids, then you see ways of helping them. I have a grandson. He had these growing pains in school as well, and it's I I mean I feel bad for my grandson because there's some stuff that you can only go through on your own. I mean, people could tell you till they're blue in the face on what's best for you, how to help you and how to cope with things. But until it clicks inside your head, you're on your own, man, and that's where it's at. You know. So look, this is kind of like a little free form podcast. Like I was saying, I wanted to talk about how angry this thing is. How much time do I got? It's at even the wrong time. Oh, I'm going into 23 minutes and I got to try again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of this live mode. Then I'm going to get on YouTube and I'm going to find out what I need to do to get that thing unlocked. So if I successfully unlock it, I'll make another video and I can tell you about it, and we'll take it from there. But thank you for joining me. I didn't get anybody on the live chat, but like I said, I'm gonna keep grinding away. I'm gonna keep pushing away. Hopefully, you can like and subscribe. Hopefully, you can one day I'll put an alert out, and if you're interested enough, you come listen to me rant, listen to me talk about stuff, and maybe you become richer in mind and richer in the whole process for of hearing something I might have said to you. And that's at the end of the day, that's the best thing that I can offer you is maybe put a smile on your face, give you some insight to something that you forgot about, and we'll see what we got. So I'm going to end this. Everybody stay wild. I don't know. I said that last time. It sounds dumb, but I said, well, I already said it once. I'm gonna say it again. But why used to like to say, hey, catch you on the other side. No, catch you on the flip side. And that goes for people who understand what a 45 is, because 45s were records, and you'd play one side and you'd flip it on the other side. So I think I'm gonna stay with catch you on the flip side. Peace out.